Alright guys, so I'm gonna do another tour here of the garden, if you will. We are in middle of August, and almost everything that bounces back is bouncing back really nicely from the 2026 freeze that we had. So this is a pina colada mango. As you can tell, I've been really diligent about tipping everything, so everything's coming back with a nice structure. This is an ice cream mango, and I actually grafted two Allenport Banisham grafts on there, and I attempted to graft several others, but only two of them took. You can see the red growth. That's a Allenport Banisham. So I think I'll leave this tree as like a half Allenport Banisham, half ice cream. Ice cream is not the most disease resistant tree, so I wanted to have something else on there. And Allenport Banisham, it seems kind of hard to come by, and it's one of my favorite mangoes, so I wanted to have it in more than one place. They're both kind of dwarfish trees, so I think they'll grow kind of at the same pace. This is Sugarloaf. Over here, this is a citrus tree. I don't remember what type. It struggled really bad, and then I put it over here, and it's starting to recover. And over there, we have some different feijoa varieties. Um, right up against the wall here, all of that was bougainvillea, and they all died in the winter. But those are all feijoas, some pineapples. Um, This is a day avocado tree that looks absolutely terrible. I think it's not getting enough sun here. I don't know. I planted two avocados after the winter, and neither of them look all that good. Um, and even before the freeze, I don't know. I'm either doing something wrong with the avocados, or they don't like my area. Um, I just, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with them. You can see all the brown tips on them. I haven't really done much to it. So my guess is that it just doesn't get enough sun here because of this big magnolia tree. I don't know. This is a Yehuda loquat. This got planted after the freeze, as well as this Christmas loquat. And the loquats always kind of take a little bit. Ow, I'm getting bit by ants. Always take a little bit of a hit when you first plant them when they're young, because they don't like full sun at that age. But they're all starting to come back nicely. Let's walk over here. This here is another feijoa tree that I tried grafting some different varieties onto it, just because you need cross pollination with feijoas, and I don't think any other grafts took. Kind of small, very papery bark um, branches, and yeah, it's kind of tricky. This is a Homestead white sapote. It replaced a, what do you call that? A Citrus wood sapodilla that was there that didn't make it through the winter. Over here we have a another loquat. The variety is Golden Nugget. This is a seedless guava here. This got planted after the winter. These are some cat leg guavas. This is the strawberry variety. You can see how nice and dense green the tree is, versus the lemon Calais guava. This tree, well, it doesn't usually look this bad, but um, after the winter, it did fine, and then it set thousands of fruit. Literally every single little end had fruit on it, and I think it really just crushed the tree. Um, it's one of those scenarios where people say like nature knows what to do. Nature got confused on this one. Most of the fruit had fallen off. It was just way too many for it to hold, and it really hurt the tree. There's quite a bit of dieback, a lot of loss of limbs, but I think it'll bounce back. I have been manually removing a lot of the fruit, but there's still hundreds of fruit left on it. Taste wise, if I had to pick, I would pick the strawberry, and also the foliage on the strawberry is much nicer and more dense. Yeah, strawberry just packs more of a punch, both in the sweet and the sour. But the lemon one is not bad by any means, so don't get me wrong. This used to be an Allen-Urbana that died, didn't make it. This is now a sweet tart tree. Here I used to have these trees planted every 15 feet. Now I've gone every 12 feet, just because I plan on keeping everything really short, and trees grow slower here in Central Florida. Not only that, I don't have anything to either side of the trees, so I think 10 to 12 feet is not a bad idea. So, sweet tart, super Alfonso. There used to be a guava there at the 15-foot mark, which I removed because it died. And then that, I put the super Alfonso at the 12-foot mark. And then 12 foot from that, we have a Bonita Springs white sapote, which I have that over it, just to keep it a little bit shaded, because some of the young tender growth is really delicate to the sun. That right there was another tree that I took out. It was a custard apple. So then there's technically a spot right there where another tree could go, but for now I don't have anything in there. And from white sapote all the way over here, we have a coconut cream coming back nicely. I did put 2 Super Julie grafts down there, just to see what happens. They're from a buddy of mine's tree. And then, so from that coconut cream to that orange sherbet there, it's like 16 feet, so right in the middle, I put a temporary papaya, which has only given me one fruit so far. There's another fruit there and some flowers, so hopefully we get more fruit. I didn't get to try the fruit, unfortunately. It ripened while I was away on a trip, and my brother-in-law came over and ate it. So here next to the shed, I put a little Olympian fig. Now, figs aren't supposed to do that great in the ground here because of the nematodes, but I figured it was like a $15 plant at Home Depot, so if it doesn't do well, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Here on the other side of the shed, I put a little quesar tree. Figured back here, this is the south side of the property. It was pretty well protected. So that's that. Over here, we have a Venus tree. that didn't, it started to come back and then it died back again. So this is the whole entire south side of my property. This is where my big Super Alfonso used to be that didn't make it, and I replaced it with a Sunracer Nectarine. This is a P22 tree, mango tree, coming back. This is my cac tree, coming back. You can see we just walked that entire line, which is the south side of my property. So this is my fruit punch tree. This is coming back really nicely. Definitely wants to grow. Been tipping it a lot. Every time I get one of these little things here, just pull it off. It's gonna create a really bushy canopy, and it's exactly what you want. You get a lot of fruit production that way. Once the tree is much bigger, I can come back and clean up the inside of it to create some airflow. But for now, I want as many of those branch tips as I can create. This is another nectarine tree that I put back here. These are where most of my trees that lose their leaves are, just away from the front of the property where they kind of look, ugly in the winter. But this is a Molish Sapodilla that replaced my Hacia that died. This is a persimmon that it's a Fuyu type, Hana Fuyu, I think. And then this is the Ronnie avocado, other avocado tree that I planted. Has a really funky growth, and when I got it, it was big, but it was just all over the place, so I trimmed it down quite a bit. I just recently removed a limb there that was growing right over it and blocking all the sun from it, so I think now that it's getting a little bit more sun, it'll do better. We'll see. This is another persimmon. This is just a regular Fuyu type. And yeah, these things get torn up by the Sri Lankan weevils, and they generally don't look great to me, but it is what it is. We'll see how they fare. That thing set a couple of fruit, but it dropped them early on. This is a Dusari or the Sherry tree. This got put in after the freeze. Pretty much any unscathed mango trees you see, anything that hasn't been stumped back, was put in after the winter. So what I'll do, I'm actually gonna continue walking the perimeter, and then I'll come back and show you the potted trees and the citrus trees. Here's another Sapodilla that I bought. This one's Morena. This is a Sompari tree coming back pretty good. This is a triple sec tree, or a Seacrest. Right there, those are two miracle fruit trees. Those actually handled the winter pretty good. They are under that big oak canopy. They don't get a lot of sun, but it definitely protects them. This was a Ronnie avocado that didn't make the winter. And then over there was a Kampong avocado that didn't make the winter. This right here is a Thai mulberry, and I've grafted several different trees to it. These are all, everything you see growing out is a new graft. Those are Skinner, Himalayan Skinner, and Pakistani on there. Man, ants are going crazy today. Maybe I should have worn sandals. This shaded section here used to have all my Jabos. Now it only holds one of them. The Sabra, which I think I'll take out eventually. They just don't look happy in the ground here, no matter how much iron and stuff I give them. So the ones I took out and put in pots look great. This one still looks terrible, so I will eventually take it out too. I've got a little bit of a back issue I've been nursing, so I don't want to do any heavy lifting right now, but I will take it out maybe next season. These are some seedling mangoes that did just grow here, that seeds that I threw in. But this one there actually survived the winter. So I'm gonna leave that one and see. Just let it do its thing there. It doesn't really get a whole lot of sun here because of this big oak canopy. But if it wants to grow, I'm gonna let it. The tender leaves smell like a very resinous mango. Kind of like the leaves of like a Super Alfonso or something like that. So I don't remember what seed it was, but I think it was, pretty much all the mangoes I have are going to be pretty good here. So we'll see what it does. This is a Tangelo. Most of these citrus trees are kind of under this canopy a little bit. So I've heard that citrus trees do better with an oak tree around. You can tell though they still get attacked by leaf miners and all sorts of different citrus viruses and bugs. So, but they're alive and there's fruit everywhere. So we'll see. I love citrus, so, and they grow small and the flowers smell amazing. So I love having them here where the sauna is, and they really add a nice vibe to coming out to the sauna every night, especially when they're flowering. This is what do you call that? The sumo citrus. And then the next three are kumquats. So this is a Meiwa kumquat. This one's an agami, and this one is or maybe that's vice versa, but this one is a variegated centennial. This thing's loaded with fruit, as you can see. It's literally bending branches. This is the second crop of the year. So those are all the trees that are in ground. Now we'll go over some of the potted trees. I decided that I'm gonna grow more potted trees. That way I can protect them in the winter. And if the ones in the ground don't make it, they don't make it. I don't really plan on adding too much else in the ground that isn't cold tolerant other than what's already in there. So this is my pickering tree, and this gave 7 fruit this year that were really delicious. This is a Sessi Love I recently acquired. And as you'll probably be able to tell, most of the trees, not all of them, but most of the ones I have in pots, I am trying to make sure that they are dwarfer varieties. These are some mulberries I've been playing grafting games on, and then recently got into figs, although I picked them up from a local guy. They're not doing great. They get a lot of viral infections or rust. It's really humid back here. But then I find like the fruit, it's too wet, so they don't taste that good. They just kind of taste like cucumbers. So if any of you guys grow figs and have tips for me, I definitely appreciate it. This is a Jahangir mango. It's a really slow growing, dense, low growing tree. I actually have 2 of them, and I bought one from the people that I usually buy trees from, and then here I'll show you the difference. This is the other Jahangir tree. Look at the trunk on that one. This is the one I bought originally, and I was really excited. Like when I got this tree, I was like, oh wow, like look what a nice little tree for Jahangir. These grow really slow. And then like a week later I went to a local nursery and they had this one. Look at the trunk on this thing. And it was just too nice to pass up. So now I have 2 Jahangir trees. This is a white peri that was in the front over there where the loquats are that I took out of the ground. just because that where the loquats are in the front is the northwest side of the property, so it's definitely the coldest side. So I decided to not have any mangoes there. So the honeykiss that was out there died, and then the Waipuri I stumped. I took it out of the ground and I put it in a pot, and as you can see, it's growing back nicely. This is an M4 mango, so not really a what do you call it, a compact grower, but it is a mango that I really wanted. Um, I'm not gonna go through the trouble of telling you guys all the different fig varieties I have, just because I don't know them off the top of my head. I'd have to bend down and look at the tags, and my back is not really up to that right now. So I guess there's a couple of them that are from Home Depot, but the rest of them are from just local dude that I got them from. This is a Painter's Cherylata. That did pretty good in the winter, but it doesn't really want to set fruit. Even if I hand pollinate, the fruit just kind of falls off before, or the little flowers just fall off as soon as the pedicles shut off. This here is a Lisa Aramoya, and this one's setting a ton of fruit, which is weird because Lisa's not supposed to really set too much fruit unless you hand pollinate. I don't know if you can see that, but there's fruit everywhere. I have to find it, but there's a lot of fruit on this. There's only one big one. All the other ones are small. So I don't know if they'll even be that good just because they're going to ripen in the winter, but you know, it is what it is. I'm so happy to have it. It's a great Adamoya. I definitely want to add at least one more potted. You can see the flowers on those are huge. So I definitely have some sort of bug here that's pollinating these Adamoyas, because I've hand pollinated a little bit, but it's set way more fruit than I've hand pollinated. So, and you can tell by the way the fruit looks that it wasn't hand pollinated. You can tell it was, done by a creature because it's not very symmetrical. This is a Maha Chinook. This has 4 large fruit on it, and it's in a 15-gallon pot. This is the Allenport Banishing that I was able to get. This is the tree I pulled those grafts off of to graft onto the ice cream tree. And then this is a buttercream tree. And buttercream, I went on Tropical Acres, which is like my mango Bible. And they said it was a slow grower, but man, this thing is just constantly pushing out new growth all the time. It was already kind of a tall tree when I got it. I would have much rather this tree started scaffolding a foot lower, but it is what it is. I've been tipping it so much that it started to throw growth from down below, right there. But that growth for some reason got hit by anthracnose, and it seems to be dying off. But yeah, this thing, every time I tip it, it just, a few days later, the growth is coming out of it. So maybe I'll put it in the ground. Maybe I'll try keeping it in the pot. I don't know. We'll see. It actually flowered recently in August, but it didn't hold anything. And then over here, I have those Javos. These are red hybrids that I took out of the ground and I put in pots. And they're doing way better. They were like really chlorotic. They had barely any leaves. They all survived the winter okay. There was some dieback, but they're coming back with vigor. You can see here where they got a little bit trimmed. So yeah, that's the garden update. I think I showed you guys everything. Some changes, but definitely I think for the long term there are going to be some smart changes to just keep growing things in pots. That way I can protect them if we have any crazy freezes, and I still get to have fun with mango trees. I won't have I won't be selling mangoes, but you know, it'll still be fun. And then we have what's left in the ground, and I plan on keeping them very short. And if we ever get another crazy freeze, I think I'm still thinking about it, but I think the best thing to do, especially if we're getting down, we got down to 19 degrees here. If we're getting down to that temperature, nothing is surviving no matter what you do to it. Um, so I think what I'll do is that I'll just stump the tree ahead of time and then protect it really well, like throw like a garbage can or something over it with some insulation in it, or cover the entire stump with mulch, or we'll see. I'll think about it. And then that way, by the time the winter's gone, the tree will just immediately start flushing out and growing really rapidly. Um, Even though these trees are obviously growing back nicely, like look how nice that orange sherbet looks, the trunks still receive damage. A lot of them, you can tell they have like a little bit of cracking to them, and the tree's not only coming back from a stump, it's also coming back from cold damage. So I think if the tree is coming back from just a stump, it'll be even faster of a recovery. That's my theory anyways. But look, you can see, like, I don't know if you can see that, but that trunk doesn't, yeah, you know, they don't look super healthy. See that? So if I can avoid all that and then just get the tree to bounce back even faster than they've bounced back now, I think that might be the best strategy. Hopefully we don't get any more of those crazy freezes. But you gotta at least have a plan, you know? So, all right, y'all. That's the yard. I think I should do everything. I'll do another update probably in the winter, once some of these trees start flowering. So, take it easy, y'all.